Have you ever stayed somewhere longer than you should have because it felt safe or familiar? You have, not just me? Well, let's talk about it. So this video is not a go quit your job video. No, now if you take it that way, that is fine. We do what's best for us. I wish it was for me. It's not that yet. Keyword yet. This video is about what happens when you stay somewhere past the expiration date and what makes you honest enough to admit that to yourself. So have you ever chosen something because it made sense on paper? A job, a relationship, a certain place to live. For me, that was healthcare. Well, actually is for now. And you may be experiencing that now with your current situation as well. There's typically something that you come to notice once you've gotten to a point to where something is no longer for you. And I'll share with you what I've seen, and maybe you've seen this as well in your own experience. And notice it's not ever just one big thing. Oh my God, I'm leaving and I'm never coming. No, it's never that theatrical. It's never that cinematic. It's always like small little things, and those small little things that just irk you or make you just question all that. It happens progressively over time, and then you look back and you're like, you know what? This ain't it no more. And so those small things that happen, they seem to be different and unrelated, but they're actually different parts of the same story that life is telling you about that situation. Let me give you some examples from my own experience. So one situation that happened, I'm gonna have to do a whole video on this, but anyway, so there was one day I was at someone's home. This was someone that was a previous relationship, and they were listening to this YouTube video, and I really wasn't paying attention to it, but there was one part that jumped out at me. They were playing it up on the TV, and there was this one part that jumped out at me, and I said, I wonder if that's gonna be me. And I was like, nah, that ain't gonna be me. And so the person said in the video, you'll work at this job, and then they'll have the very person that you're training and make them your manager. And I was like, nah, that don't happen. And I ended up going into work, and that was literally what happened to me. I had trained somebody that had started after me. They still asking me questions on how to do certain things, and we both applied for the position, and they got it. And I was like, oh. So that was one small thing. It felt big at the time, but small thing that occurred. Another thing for me that occurred was investing into an additional certification. And it would have been something if it was a small type of thing, but this was a series of certifications that you had to get in order to reach this next level. So I ended up spending close to $1,000 on courses and exams and all that to do that. And there was nothing. So I was like, wow. So that was another thing. There may have been other things along the way, but these are the larger increments that I recall. There were also additional things outside of me. For example, a coworker resigning and no one ever being replaced for that person. And so that extra workload just became the norm. Instead of it just being a temporary thing, it became a standard at that point. Or even something like a new position being created for someone that really was not doing anything. They just popped up one day. It's like, oh, this person is the supervisor of blah. It was very confusing when that happened because there was talks about, oh, budget this, budget that. But then you're like, how are we tight on the budget? We can't afford to hire a new team member to replace the team member that resigned. But random person that falls asleep at their desk after lunch just got a promotion to do what? That's interesting, very interesting. So I just shared those different scenarios to say each one is small, each one is annoying, but they all tell the same picture as far as how the organization values you. So that's an example that I've experienced. I'm sure you've experienced something as well. It may sound very familiar to you. If you feel comfortable, share in the comments below. I would love to hear your experience as well. I say all that because there's a difference between being compensated for the role and being compensated for what you actually bring. And when you're bringing more than you're being compensated for, that when you feel that gap, that's telling you something. You're like, I bring more to this. There's something more for me. Just like mentioned in a previous video, where like you ask yourself, is there more? Yes, it is. And so we have to listen to that feeling when we feel it. So, two self-reflection questions for you. I'd like for you to take the time and think about this in your own life. Again, if you'd like to share your answer here, I would love to hear it. First one is, where are you staying that was never built to hold everything that you bring? That's the first question. Second question is, what system are you trying to win in that was not designed for you? That's the second one. So think about those. And again, you don't have to be a bridge burner. You don't have to burn it all to the ground and all of that. You really don't. But you do have to be honest with yourself and recognizing when something has run its course. And gratitude, as well as moving forward, can exist at the same time. And so, as I always say, we do our best and we let God do the rest.